Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashy Business Show. Today is Wednesday, July 23, 2025. I don't know how this month also went past very quickly. I'm Abdul Majid Aman.
And I'm Wad Ahmed, and we've got a packed show for you today. Firstly, we're going to discuss the leaked memo that revealed that the Anthropic CEO is taking a U-turn on taking investments from Gulf countries. This was from a very special piece by Wired. Now, Titan is to acquire majority stake in Dubai jeweler Damas in a 1 billion dirham deal, and Dubai-based Binghatti Holding has made 1.8 billion dirhams in net income in the first half of the year. And GymNation acquires Fitness First Motor City, launching a 70 million dirham expansion plan, and we'll get more into why this is all really ironic.
Yeah. The very first story is a story of irony, is a story of reversing hypocrisy, is a story of reversal on making principles and then not following them. It's a very weird story, to be honest, coming out. And Anthropic CEO, his name is Dario Amodei, has confirmed the company will now seek funding from Gulf nations. Now, this is not abnormal. Everyone is looking at Abu Dhabi, Dubai, UAE, Saudi, Qatar, everyone for money. And for him, specifically, he's looking at UAE and Qatar now. And this comes despite Amodei previously warning against accepting money from what he described, quote unquote, in his memo, which was leaked and was reported by authoritarian regimes. And the revelation was made public in a leaked internal memo, as I said. And he said the decision was driven by the urgent need to compete in the global AI race, aka, or you can also read it like, I need money.
Yeah, but it's the urgent and embarrassing need.
Yeah.
So the memo basically acknowledged that the ethical tension behind the move. So Amodei reportedly told staff that taking Gulf money could enrich dictators and open the company up to accusations of hypocrisy. But he also said that without that major funding, Anthropic risks falling behind competitors that are rapidly scaling operations, including in the Middle East.
And that includes OpenAI's $500 billion Stargate project, which is being backed by the Emirati state firm MGX. The Sovereign AI Initiative plans to build one of the largest AI data centers in the world outside the US, right in Abu Dhabi.
And it's and basically what happened is Anthropic said it will only accept what it calls narrowly scoped, purely financial backing from Gulf countries and won't build any data centers in the region. Now, the company claims it will also enforce strict usage policies to maintain its operational independence. I think that if you're getting funding, whether it's narrow or not, you're still getting funding. It does not make sense.
Still, Amodei admitted the influence of soft power from the investors is real, and in the race for AI dominance, it seems even the industry's loudest voices on ethics are being forced to make hard choices. They're not being forced, to be honest. They are, seriously, this is hypocrisy at the highest level, at the most clearest level, that you're calling countries in the Middle East which have the best safety in the world, best governance, and it's not me saying, there's like 100 reports that come out everywhere from some of the top institutions, WHO, IMF, everyone is reporting that, leave that part of the dictatorship and all that apart, whatever he was calling them. The idea is that they're the safest countries. They have the best quality of life.
According to the UN, by the way, it's the UN that came out with this. And I think what even made me laugh more is the fact that in the leaked memo that was obtained by Wired, he basically said that, unfortunately, the logic that, bad people should not benefit from our success is not the kind of principle that you can go with in business, in that, yes, we will be accepting investments from the UAE and Qatar. And honestly, and he also added in that in the Middle East, Qatar, the UAE, they have capital that is worth up to $100 billion and more, and that is the kind of capital that they need access to. And it is just so insulting. It is honestly so insulting. Like, how am I going to to bite the hand that is going to feed me. That does not make sense. It is just completely disrespectful. And honestly, Majid, like, the more that I see more leaked memos are like coming out of these big, giant companies, their employees do not like them.
Yeah.
That is honestly
they're leaking them actually.
Right? That is exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like,
Yeah.
your employees do not like you, because why is it that you guys keep getting exposed like this? And by the way, it is not just Anthropic. I remember even for Microsoft, when they were showing that they were complicit in the genocides in Gaza, all of these investigations, it is always leaked documents.
Yeah.
For BCG, that was recently, that the Financial Times recently wrote a piece about how basically they made this entire model to relocate Palestinians from Israel. Again, leaked memos. Their employees do not like them. Their employees are not backing them. They are not loyal to them. And this is why they keep making headlines like this. I mean, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. And just to give you a little more perspective, so you have ChatGPT, which is by OpenAI. It's the biggest chatbot there out right now. But to be honest, the first mover, so the best one, a lot of people can say that. Then you have X, they have Grok, they just launched Grok 4. Good, but sometimes crazy, but good. For research purposes, it's good. Then you have Perplexity. Then we had, you remember, DeepSeek come out from China, but it has its own problem. It will not give you any information on China apart from government sources. Doesn't say anything about China apart from that. And then you have Anthropic, whose chatbot is Claude. So I was looking at the global market share, and nearly 79 to 80% is OpenAI. Obviously, again, first movers, so everyone,
Honestly,
it's become kind of like a term,
know about
right?
Claude AI.
Yeah,
I
use it.
existed.
Every chatbot has its strengths. Like Perplexity is the best search engine for me. Whenever I need to find something which goes beyond Google and beyond the capability of ChatGPT.
What could go beyond Google and ChatGPT?
Yeah, that's the good part. Gemini, obviously. Gemini is also one of the biggest ones. It's like 2%. Microsoft's Copilot, which was formerly called actually Bing Chat, 4%. Perplexity is 11.1%. It's second, imagine. And Grok is like 0.8%. And that's also a US estimate. So DeepSeek is nearly 1%. There's Manus. There's so many chatbots. There's a French chatbot now, Lisha. So it's L-E chat, C-H-A-T, but they pronounce it Lisha. But you have so many now. But these are the market leaders. And Claude is, I think, on the list. It's on the 5th number with nearly 1% market. So I understand the desperation. That's the reason I'm telling you the market share, that I understand the desperation that all these chatbots need a lot of computing power, a lot of space. They eat up a lot of energy, electricity. There's costs which build up over time. That is why I think he's finally decided that whatever principles he made on false allegations, of dictatorship and this and that, all of them false allegations. We've been hearing about sports washing. We've been hearing about greenwashing. There's so many terms around washing specifically made for the Middle East, and none of them has ever been able, whoever coined these terms, they've never been able to prove it. I remember UAE's year of sustainability was 2023. Then they carried it on to 2024. We saw a COP happen in the Middle East, in Dubai, the most well-organized COP in the world. Imagine if it was an authoritarian regime, as he said, if it was a dictatorship. For the first time ever, in 28 COP conferences, which happen every year, in 28 COP conferences, there was a section in the Dubai Expo Center for protesters. A formally well set up section. They didn't say don't protest, because usually when you go to COPs, people are standing on the streets, they're blocking roads, there is no system. In Dubai, for the first time, in a COP, they made a whole section for them. They were like, yeah, come protest. So imagine the level of trust that they have in their security, the level of trust they have in their governance.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, come protest, we don't mind.
And I think, Majid, like we forgot to add in a really important point. The reason why Anthropic CEO's commentary is extremely hypocritical is because of the fact that in 2019, according to CNBC, Anthropic cited that it would not be taking funding from Saudi Arabia due to these ethical concerns that
Human
it has.
rights concerns, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that they're coming back and doing that, honestly, what it's telling me is I think, the Anthropic CEO he was jealous. He was jealous. He saw how, just very recently, actually, in May, we saw how Donald Trump came to the Middle East. He came to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, then Abu Dhabi, and he brought all of these, tech CEOs with him. You had Sam Altman there. You had Jensen Huang. Elon Musk was there too. The list can go on. And he saw how they walked in with Trump and they signed so many deals. And I think in particular, the real winner here is definitely Jensen Huang.
Yeah.
We saw how
all of them will use his chips, right?
He is a clear winner. His company, one of the first companies in the world to hit market value that's over $4 trillion. The number does not even seem real to me, honestly. And the fact that he signed offers in Saudi Arabia and the UAE to provide them with NVIDIA chips, of course you're going to have someone like Anthropic CEO that is going to walk in and be like, man, like my pride really does not want me to do this. I want to come up with every single reason for why I should not do this, but I will take investment from
I
him.
remember, just to give you historical perspective, you have to understand, when Qatar World Cup was happening, it was called sports washing. Saudi Arabia's every investment that they make in sports, in even in gaming. I remember recently they bought Pokemon Go, the makers of Pokemon Go, and everyone was like, gaming washing, something. They'll always make up a term. The problem is, very good, something popped up in my mind. Word shared a very nice video from Al-Abbar. Remember, he was at the Miami event for FII 8 and he said, everyone is like, there's no democracy in your country, there's not this, there's not that, there's not that. And I said, okay, you keep your democracy, I'll keep my quality of life, number one. Ease of doing business, number one in the world. This, number one. He's like, I don't care. My only concern is that my leadership cares about what actually means to be good to the people. They don't care about these titles of democracy and this and that.
Yeah.
Remember you shared, it was such a nice way of putting it. He clearly on the face said that, sorry, you can keep all those ideals with you. Whatever we're following, it works. Everyone is happy. No one has a problem with it. People are getting their metros. People are getting Dubai Blue Line, the Blue Line metro. Abu Dhabi, you go, the bus system is so nice. I've traveled in the Abu Dhabi buses.
Yeah.
Recently, they have on-road trams now. They're actually, this whole region is turning into Europe. So obviously, the West, which ruled us for like 50, 60 odd 100 years, they're not liking it. And they will come up with anything to downplay all of this.
No, but,
the problem is people have started traveling here. People are actually seeing everything.
Exactly.
They're like, sorry, whatever you sold us, we're not buying it anymore.
But Majid, this behavior really does confuse me because it's like, how do you have people like the Anthropic CEO, Sean Maguire, Sequoia Capital's partner, who was just recently, is still under backlash for his racist commentary against Zahran Mamdani. But point is, how do you have characters like this who are in America, living in a place like America that has invaded so many countries? You have Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and they invaded these countries in the name of democracy to promote democracy, in which nothing good has come out of that. If anything, I would call that a dictatorship. I would call that an authoritarian regime.
Democratic dictatorship.
But instead, they're seeing a thriving. They're seeing the thriving Gulf as the threat that they need to seek out. It just really does not make absolutely any sense to me because, like, come on, you guys are smart guys. Like, you run billion-dollar companies. Like, should you not have a bit more sense, a bit more empathy, emotional intelligence? It just does not make sense to me.
I remember, I don't exactly remember the dialogue from House of Cards, but I remember the context of the whole conversation.
Is that the show you were telling me to watch?
Yeah, House of Cards, if you want to learn how politics is done in US especially, it's the best show. It has such nice moments of monologues. But the idea is that whenever someone sees that their power is going away from them, they try to move to people. There's two ways to go about it. Either you move closer to the people who are gaining that power. For example, if you're losing power and I'm gaining power, there's two ways. You either move closer to me and be like, okay, proximity to the shift of power makes me powerful. Or you don't start gaining power or regaining your power back. What you do is you start pulling me down. So there's two, and you can see it very clearly in the business landscape right now. Everyone who understands that the Middle East, UAE, Saudi, Qatar-led Middle East, all of these economies are doing great. They have capital sitting there just to invest.
Yeah.
They're ready to invest. Everyone is moving here. And they understand. So that's one theory that they're following. They're coming closer to the new center of power. The other people, these guys, they went for the second theory. They're like, we won't go with them, but we'll keep pulling them down, try to pull them down.
And you know, and Majid, it really
sorry,
does.
just to conclude, I just remembered. The conclusion was, he was like, the people who go closer to the power, they actually always win. The other ones always suffer.
This is in the memo.
No, that's the House of Cards monologue that he gives.
Sorry, I got excited. But
so, just to quote you like a good series on powers and politics, it's just that he shows through example in the show that, yeah, moving closer to the people who have the power, who have the capital power right now, just move closer to them, work with them.
Yeah.
They're not your enemies, just make friends with them.
And that is true, but like just like back to American history again, and the reason that I keep reiterating this is because it is so important. It's like Majid, the first time that, you know, the term the Ponzi scheme was coined, when was it coined? In America, in the 1920s, by an Italian-American, Charles Ponzi. So when you take a look, when you take a look at their history and so many roots that it's entrenched with, slavery, taking land that is not theirs, invading countries that are not theirs, you know, the largest fraud schemes in history committed in America, it does not make sense that they would go and point their finger to other continents. And so to these CEOs, I just wish that they knew their history more, and they could maybe do a little bit of more work there of looking inside than looking outside. But anyways,
let's move on to a more hardcore business story. So there's a company, India's Titan company, part of the Tata Group, the larger Tata Group, and they are they've actually done the deal soon after regulatory improvements. They will get 67% stake in Dubai-based jeweler Damas International. And right now, that stake is held by Qatar's Manai Corporation. So this is a 1.04 billion dirham transaction. And the deal, pending regulatory approvals, is expected to close by January 2026. Titan will fold Damas into a new DIF-based entity, Signature Jewelry Holding, and has the option to acquire the remaining 33% stake after a lock-in period ending in December 2029.
So the acquisition gives Titan significant retail reach in the GCC through Damas's 146 stores across 6 countries, positioning Damas as the largest Indian-owned jewelry brand in the region. Now it reflects a deepening investment corridor between India and the UAE amid similar cross-border moves by firms like Adani. Now for Manai, the sale will help reduce debt and refocus its business on core operations and IT services.
And Titan will finance the deal through a mix of debt, equity, and internal accruals. Basically, they're not going to pay all cash. It's going to be a mix of it. And with Standard Chartered acting as the financial advisor, regulatory clearance is awaited, and the full integration into Signature Jewelry Holding will follow. The transaction also revives acquisition talks that previously collapsed over valuation issues, signaling Titan's long-term commitment to regional expansion. And it's important to identify that it's an Indian company, Indian business. And we've seen this over the last 2-3 years, that Indian companies, they're becoming conglomerates. They're becoming giant mammoths, and they're going for businesses. But it's also a good thing because we see the capital flowing into our country. And I think a good big company like Tata Group, which has this company, Titan, they won't go into a company which is not doing good. Obviously, every company is in debt all the time. They want to show it on the financials. But the good thing is that everyone is not just coming here to set up business. They're not just coming here to get investment. They're also coming in to invest in already settled businesses.
And I think in this case, Majid, we're definitely seeing that the capital is moving from the Gulf right back to India because
Yeah.
Manai Corporation, the company that owns Damas, is actually publicly listed in
Yeah.
Qatar. It's headquartered in Qatar.
Yeah.
So I think that this is like a really interesting turn here. But like just on the topic of gold, I think what's so interesting is that the UAE is the second largest exporter of
Yeah.
gold in the world. Whenever I see tourists coming to the UAE, the first thing they'll tell you is either I'm going to go buy my perfume or I'm going to go buy gold.
Yeah.
And
Gold souk is like their heaven.
I love gold souk.
Yeah.
It's my heaven too.
Yeah.
So for me, seeing that this is occurring right now, I see why these Indian companies are taking a stance, and they're like,
Yeah.
you know what, we want to be a part of that growth too.
Yeah, and I think it's just a very nice story to do because an Indian brand, and I recently remember reading somewhere that Indians were the biggest populace which bought gold from Dubai duty free. The Dubai duty free H1 numbers came out. We did chocolate and all those, and perfumes were the best selling brand. But I think Indians were the highest buyers of gold from Dubai. And I have an example. One of my friends in my last workplace, whenever her parents came, her cousins came, she's like, they always come and buy gold from here because the quality is good. So
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we get good quality. In India, she's like, we somehow sometimes don't know. They say 22 carat, they sell us 24, and they're like, we're not chemists, so we can't test it with all the things, but we believe
Yeah.
them. So he's like, she told me that whenever they go, even when she is traveling there, someone sends her money that please buy gold for me.
Right.
That 10 gram
Wow.
biscuit, this, that. So she's carrying. There is a limit, obviously.
Yeah. She has to be careful,
Yeah.
otherwise it's gonna look
Yeah,
sus.
but again, it's a thing that happens here. I remember Kareem or someone recently did.
Kareem selling gold?
No. Yeah, Kareem. I think they partnered with someone to deliver gold to people's places because there is this Indian festival which is famous for gold. I did the rip share of the Kareem ad. It was a very nice, cute ad. A guy standing in desert, and then suddenly gold appears, and he delivers it. So actually in Dubai you can get gold delivered to your place, and it was for that season, for that event. I think Ujwal can tell us which event that is, Dashera or something. It recently happened like 2 months ago, which is famous for gold. You can tell us on the speaker, no problem, Ujwal, if you know the name of the event. Which is famous for gold, giving gold, taking gold, all that. It recently happened like 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah. It's it's a Hindu festival something. But yeah, as soon as he remembers, he'll tell us. It's a festival. So Kareem did a 3-4 weeks campaign. So yeah, just imagine the love of Indian
Is this
people.
the name right here?
The Akshay Tritiya. Yes, Akshay Tritiya was the event, yes.
Sometimes a Google search will do it for you. It will do it for you. But,
So,
but
yeah.
Majid, isn't it interesting though how like the UAE has no gold mines, but it's been
Yeah.
able to export this much gold?
Yep.
I think this does signify how good they are at trade and at exporting things. But
I
it
think
kind of
DMCC report, you did it, I remember, about
it
gold
was about-
DMC.
I did write something about diamonds.
Oh, it was diamond, sorry, yeah, but yes. Sorry? Okay. So yeah, our producer, Indian, he's
But
giving us
Majid,
insights into the story.
I am curious about something though. I remember I had a family member who was speaking to me about this Sudanese man. He's married to an Indian woman. He has 4 daughters, and this man is like so worried. And when I remember,
Dowry?
yes, that's what I want to ask you about. And I remember when my
It's-
dad asked him, "Why are you so stressed and worried?" He's like, "Because I have 4 daughters that I need to
4
get married
dowries.
in Indian culture, and I need to make sure that they all have these dowries." Wait, so you're telling me that they have to pay the man to get married?
No,
Is this correct?
it's a cultural thing. First of all, it's not a religious thing. It's not a regional thing. It's a very cultural thing in Asia.
Can you tell me
Yeah,
where
I'll
specifically?
give you the logical reasoning behind it and then the cultural reasoning. So, if a girl is getting married, she gets a lot of gold, and that gold, car, house, all of that stuff is given to the guy. Now, why it started in the very early days was to give security, because at that point women were not working. So they gave some sort of security to the guy in case of if he loses his business, his job. They should have some safety. And gold still is considered one of the safest investments
Islam is so
long term,
different.
right? So that is where it started, to give security to the couple. So in the future, if something bad happens, they have something in the back, right? It turned into this dowry monster eventually. But very interestingly, India has a whole government level campaign which runs throughout the year. It's a
Right.
part of movies, it's a part of every famous serial, that
What is
dowry
it?
is not a good thing.
I'm
So,
also collecting for my sister.
yeah. So our producers,
Wow. That is-
Ujjwal is
that
Indian,
is-
and he's also collecting.
That is
So
really tough.
culturally, they're trying to remove it. They're trying to inculcate the original idea,
Yeah.
that for safety, for investment,
No,
for
'cause
everything, it's great.
I really feel bad for our
Don't
family
feel
friend.
forced.
He is
Yeah.
genuinely very stressed,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting because in Islamic culture, in my religion, it's like we have mehr,
Yeah.
and in fact, it is the woman who is receiving.
Yeah.
But not in fact giving, but you
And
know,
it's also a form of safety, right, for women, that maher,
it is, exactly. It's
that
a form of
something
safety
happens,
of in case
yeah.
he opts out or he just suddenly disappears and
There
runs
should
away.
be something. It has two ways, by the way. There is a delayed one, and there is like an immediate payment. So
Yeah.
meher something. Usually people opt for the delayed one, but you have to pay it before you die or you take a divorce. So it's a very sacred thing that you have to do in Islam. So
Right.
imagine the level of security Islam gives to women.
Yeah,
A lot of
and
people say,
Just speaking of security, right now, one of the
Yeah.
most secure, successful Dubai-based real estate developers is Binghatti Holding, and they've reported a record-breaking first half of 2025 with profits soaring 172% year on year to 1.8 billion dirhams. Now their revenue surged 189% to 6.3 billion dirhams, while total sales hit 8.8 billion dirhams, driven by relentless demand for branded luxury residences in Dubai's growing appeal to international investors.
and Binghatti delivered 1,441. Let me repeat, I love repeating numbers. 1,441 units across 5 projects during the period, the first half, and launched 7 new developments. So the group now has a project backlog worth AED 12.5 billion now. Notably, 61% of the sales came from non-resident buyers. So international buyers are investing in Dubai real estate, and they like Binghatti. Everyone likes Binghatti, I think, highlighting Dubai's continued rise as a global safe haven for wealth, and leading nationalities who invested in Binghatti projects obviously included investors, first of all from India, then we have Turkey and China also.
Now, in a major move, Binghatti acquired a 9 million square foot megaplot in Najd al-Shiba 1 to build its first master plan community with an expected development value exceeding 25 billion dirhams. Now, the company also launched Binghatti Capital, a DFSA regulated investment platform aimed at raising $1 billion through real estate and private credit strategies.
And operational highlights included a new partnership with ADIB to offer Sharia-compliant financing, and joining Dubai's first-time home buyer program. I remember we did that. If you've never bought anything and you're a resident in Dubai, this is the best option to go for. First-time home buyer program. You'll get a lower interest rate. You'll get first priority. If you want the corner house, you'll get the first priority. A very nice program. Binghatti has also become a founding member of the Dubai PropTech Hub, positioning itself at the forefront of smart infrastructure and AI-driven real estate innovation.
And credit rating agencies have taken note. Now, Moody's assigned Binghatti one of the highest ratings, and so has Fitch. But I think, just on the topic of Mohammed Binghatti generally, I mean, the portfolio that they're managing, the kind of real estate empire that they've built, the reason that it is so unique is because we have never seen partnerships where you have a real estate company that is partnering with Mercedes, that is partnering with Jacob & Co.
Yeah.
And I think this stems from Mohammed Benghatti's vision of, and he always said this, he really did, if you watch his speeches and you take note, is that he said, I want a 5-year-old, quote unquote, to be able to recognize my brand.
Yeah.
I want it to be as recognizable as something like Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and that is exactly what he went after. But I think what intrigued me the most is that at some point he tried his hand at the juice manufacturing business. He was speaking about it in a speech, Majid, and he said that it surprised him so much that selling juice was in fact harder than selling real estate. Yeah, he said that. It was in a speech at Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. But I think, you know, what makes I think Mohammed Binghatti unique is the fact that, by the way, Binghatti was not founded by him. It was founded by his father, Hussein Binghatti. He's a Bedouin merchant's son, and essentially what happened is that I believe in 2014, after Mohammed Binghatti graduated with an architecture degree, he immediately took over as CEO, and we never actually see that these real estate developers have architecture degrees. They're engineers, so I think that's what makes his perspective specifically very interesting.
Yeah, and I just love the guy. The decency on his face, the no showboating attitude, the recent London thing that they opened the boutique. I saw the video and I was like, how simple is this guy? How decent is he?
You thought the boutique opening was simple, man?
No, him.
Oh, okay.
Himself.
It was very luxurious.
You look at the video, I'll break it down for you, being a film student also. Sometimes you see movies where everything in the background is at hyperspeed and the guy is standing still in the frame. That's what Mohammed Binghatti looks like to me. He's in a crowd, but you can pick him out, one, because he stands out with his simplicity.
Or maybe because
even
he's
in
tall.
dressing. Yeah, maybe that also. But in his dressing, in his candor, in the way he talks, in the way he speaks, everything makes him stand out. And I think that is where the brand Binghatti and all these partnerships actually come from. You have to stand out with something. And he was recently talking about akhlaq, right?
Yes.
And akhlaq is like the pillar. I remember one of the quotes of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that you can't win anything without good akhlaq. Good akhlaq, I don't know how to explain
you're saying it right. No, akhlaq is just manners. That's literally what
mannerism.
it means.
You should have very respectful mannerism.
It is very true that he does stand by that.
One more part of it that when you're with younger ones, be nice, be loving to them. And when you're with elderly, be it parents, be it any senior, be it your grandparents, be respectful. So it teaches you the way of life, and I think he's a very devout Muslim. As you said, you remember? You went for the interview.
I did. I remember when I asked him, hey, can we do the interview? He was like, guys, I'm so sorry, I'll get back to you, but I'm going to go pray Maghrib.
Yeah.
And that for me was like, that just told me what I need to know.
Yeah.
And I think he is a very extremely humble person, does not have an air of arrogance whatsoever. But for our final story of the day, Dubai-based GymNation has officially acquired Fitness First Motor City, marking a major expansion for the low-cost fitness chain. So it was founded in 2018 by Lauren Holland, Frank Afeki, and Ant Martland. So GymNation is also planning a 70 million dirham investment to develop one of the world's largest and most advanced gyms.
And Fitness First was originally founded in 1993, 2 years before 2 years after I was born in Bournemouth, UK. So it's a very old brand, like me, by Mike Balfour. The brand is franchised across the MENA region by the Landmark Group. We all know the Landmark Group, which was established by late Mickey Jagtiani, is now chaired by his wife, Renuka Jagtiani. And Landmark currently operates 37 Fitness First clubs.
And Landmark has plans to open 6 new Fitness First locations across the UAE. Now, this acquisition by GymNation is expected to strengthen its position, but more so, honestly, it's really another building. They basically acquired the building where Fitness First was. And, you know, I think for me, this entire story, it is just so hilarious because GymNation, they did this ad a while ago. And if you're, when the ad ad is on our page, by the way. It's in the story that I worked on. The ad literally goes like, at GymNation, we prioritize fitness first, not profits first. Like they're really, honestly, the mockery is so obvious. The satire is clearly there, even in their breaking news announcement of like them officially acquiring this like gym. You can, by the way, you can see the fitness first sign going down.
Yeah.
And they're just really mocking it, but.
I love when the advertising and the marketing teams go cutthroat with other brands, right? You
Really?
just love the feeling. I remember in Pakistan we have this very famous roundabout. It's called the Allah Wali Charangi because there's a big, nice Allah written on the center, and it's a very nice thing. So they had McDonald's there, and it is one of the most oldest famous McDonald's in Karachi. Everyone knows that roundabout because of that McDonald's. KFC put up a billboard on the whole building. The whole building, they put up such a giant. So there's KFC on the top, and then there's McDonald's store down there. And you're like, why are you doing that? Pizza Hut came in. Pizza Hut bought the building right next to it, and they put up their billboard. It was such a fight at that point for all these big three brands. I was like, what is happening here?
Oh, wait,
so
Majid.
People go cutthroat with these
This
things.
just reminded me of something, by the way. You know how I told you that I think that salt is going to Pakistan?
Oh, yeah.
So salt by the Emirati and Saudi founders, Amal al-Marri and Dim al-Bassam. By the way, that is not real.
It's not real?
That's not real. The marketing guys was so on point. Like, you can honestly not fault me for thinking that it's real. But then you know what I did? I'm like, let me just try. I messaged one of the founders. I'm like, hey, is this real? She was like, no. And I got to know what I needed to know. Right now, the only place that salt is expanding to is Egypt.
But I told you, salt is in Pakistan.
That's exactly how it is in Pakistan. No, but I think this is a new one because they just recently
not
started
the salt,
their marketing.
the unreal salt is there. Pakistan is, I think all the underdeveloped nations or like developing nations, they have a mockery or a copy of every brand because they want to sell it. So in Pakistan, there's a whole street in Karachi where people have these carts. So there's a salt cart already there which sells burgers and all that. You have the Last Exit Cafe in Pakistan also.
Are you serious?
They're so inspired by the way brands.
It Last Exit Cafe. Last Exit
is the place, right?
It's an entire location. It's not even a cafe.
And
it's different
you wouldn't
stores.
believe it who opened it.
Who?
We have a production manager, Sami, his friend.
Oh my God.
I've sat at that place, drank tea, and he opened it. He shut it down after some time because it was a very bad location. It was right next to a pump. But again, we had the Last Exit Cafe. So we take our Pakistan at least, or India, a lot of places, they take a lot of inspiration from the brands that are here. Because a lot of people move here, study here, visit here.
I think imitation
they see
is
brands
such a
and they want
compliment.
it.
If you're imitating me, like, oh my God, you think I'm
waiting
cool.
for me to go to Karachi or Pakistan for a longer period. I've just been for like the maximum of 3.5 days. But I'll go a longer trip. I'll bring all the pictures and I'll show them to you of all the brands that have been copied in Pakistan.
Honestly, that could be a story.
Yeah.
Brands that Pakistan is copying right now from the UAE.
And no one can do anything about it because you go and you put a copyright claim, they'll be like, yeah, we'll see you in court. And courts don't work in a lot of countries. They're just there. So, yeah,
for us, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Smashy Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all of our social media channels at Smashy Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find this description link in the description. And
this has been a Smashy Business Show, a Smashy Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our 2.1 million listeners. We're growing astronomically. Thank you so much. These are 1.5 million views, listeners to all our shows under Augustus Media. I think we have more than 15 now,
I thought
right?
I hit 2.
2.1 yesterday.
Okay.
So every day we get an update on it. We've hit 2.1 now. One more news that I want to share soon enough. We have a Smashy Business newsletter doing good. If you're not subscribed to it, you're missing out a lot. We're starting a Smashy Crypto newsletter as well. So yeah, only for crypto fans, whoever wants to know what's happening in crypto. We'll start with once a week, but soon enough we'll follow with a daily one also. So if you're interested in crypto, why not? Thank you very much. Have a great day and see you tomorrow.